No, none of that. Yo, what's going on, y'all? Not the real Will Smith and another for your meme. In the Corolla. Remember what I said last time about the starter going out in the car? It wasn't the starter, but it was my throttle body. It was dirty. Caused check engine light to come on. Car hesitated to start. Whole bunch of crap. But I will say the battery terminals did not have good connection because they had a lot of corrosion around it. So that's my fault too. So I cleaned that up. Cleaned the throttle body. I'll do a really detailed job. I might make a video on that. But the throttle body's not bad. It was just dirty. So it caused the vehicle to not run. But this is probably the last day of the month that I'm going to drive the Corolla just because I'm in the process of moving and stuff like that. Found a new spot. Remember, I'm back here and stuff and handling that. Got to pay tags on both of the vehicles. And if I can't afford both of them, I'm going to pay the Buick first because that's my daily driver. So this will be sitting out. I have a tarp and stuff for my car. I mean a car cover, so I'll be able to cover it up and things like that. But besides all that, quick little update. Point of this video today is how much money do I spend in maintenance on this vehicle, right? This Corolla with the current mileage. So with 288,060, we're not talking about general maintenance like oil changes, tires, brakes. Not talking about that at all, because I practically change my oil every 6,000 miles. Well, every 5,000 to 6,000 miles I use synthetic oil. I change tires almost every year because they're staggered. And brakes, I can get a good 2 years out of mine. I actually gotta get rotors. But let's start with all the major maintenance I had to do on this vehicle. So first things first, I want to say back in 2013, 2014, I had this guy do this electrical work on my vehicle. He didn't really know what he was doing. This man's using freaking electrical tape inside of the engine bay where the car heats up, cools down, instead of soldering lines like you're supposed to. Back then, I didn't know anything about electricity. I didn't know anything about wiring. I still don't touch that stuff to this day. But back then, he pretty much messed stuff up, and he had cut into my fuse box that goes in in the engine. And when he did that, it caused some issues with the vehicle starting. My fuses kept blowing in the fuse box, and then there's a big line that goes to I guess electrical components that starts the vehicle, cuts the vehicle off, blah blah blah. Pretty much my car is dying while I'm driving it. Then when the car is off, I can't cut the car on. So I had to replace the fuse box. The fuse box itself, parts was $450, and then I paid this guy labor of $250. So you guys do the math there. The next major thing that I had to fix on this vehicle, well, not really major, but I had cracked my windshield. I was actually being stupid when I cracked it, and that was $165, right? Replaced it the first time. Second time, I had to replace my windshield. It was 2 years later after that, another $165. And there was this Jeep that was coming down the highway. He kind of went off of the highway a little bit, picked up some of the rocks and stuff that, you know, settles on the side of the road. It flew over his vehicle. He had a lift package, obviously, on his vehicle. My car is obviously lower, and it went over my car, over his truck, and hit me straight in the windshield, right? Cracked it, boom. And it was bigger than the size of a quarter, right? Third windshield that I'm on right now has a crack in it, and I'm gonna show y'all. Had a crack in it, and I had a little chip on it. I got the chip fixed because it was under a quarter, right? That was $75. And this crack right here, you guys can see, I don't have a rearview mirror. That happened because I hit it by accident. And it spread all the way up there and in the opposite direction. So, for my third windshield, that's going to be another $165 that I'm probably not replacing right away. Next thing on the list, probably not major, but I had to replace it on this vehicle, was coil packs. They're about $75 a piece. You have a 4-cylinder vehicle. They went out about $265,000. So I had the stock coil packs in from the time the vehicle was brand new. And at the same time I replaced my coil packs, 75 a piece, all four, I actually had a leak at the top of my engine. So I had to get the top of my engine, dang, I forgot what it's called. I had to get that work done to it, which altogether, labor-wise, was probably about $425, and I bought the coils myself and spark plugs because you want to change them out too. Alright guys, I'm sorry, let me go backwards. So the valve cover gasket that I need to replace was $20. The spark plugs I use are NGK Iridiums, and those were $14 a piece. Because there's 4 of them, it came to a total of $56, and then the labor was actually $450 for the mechanic to fix it, because it was a mobile mechanic that came out to my vehicle. My vehicle was running real rough, and he came in and he handled all of that within, I'll say, 4 hours. The next thing that I replaced that was major was my oil pan. So the bottom of the engine was leaking, and the oil pan doesn't necessarily have to be replaced, but I had a little fender bender where I had jumped a curb, it had scraped it, and the drain plug that was in the oil pan had actually stripped from someone tightened it too much. So that's why I really do my oil changes mainly myself. So I just got a whole new oil pan, and then I got a new gasket. I actually got the dealership to do that. The oil pan itself was $200, and the labor, because the dealership did that time, the labor was $350. I want to say about $350. We didn't have any more leaks. Next major thing, actually, I'll say recently, my axle had went bad on the right side. And I mean, typically people replace axles when they break, but mine's didn't break. Mine's actually, boots had actually got cut in the axles, and when all the grease comes out of them, you have metal parts kind of rubbing against each other, which caused my axle itself to go bad. I tried to grease it, it lasted a little while, but then the oil leaked back out, so I just went ahead and got that changed out. I actually found a discount for that part. That part was $75, I think I paid. And then I had paid my mechanic and labor $100. So $175 later, new axle on that side. That's about it as far as major maintenance that I had to do to the vehicle. The vehicle has held up very well. I replaced starters on there, but I don't count that as major work. The starter was $200, but I did it myself. I replaced the alternator on this vehicle one time. That was $150. I actually got my buddies to do that for me. But other than that, I mean, I've had coolant overheating issues, but it was a sensor that was $30. Major, it could have caused a major issue, but $30 is not bad. I got that put in myself. Literally just a sensor on the side of the engine. Take it out, some of the coolant comes out, put it back in, make sure you bleed the air out, you know. So nothing too major. Transmission, I haven't had any issues with it. I thought I seen a cold pop up at one time, but it actually had nothing to do with the transmission. Someone told me it did. I really haven't had any transmission issues since I got the tune. And in this car, I actually I change my transmission fluid once a year, typically when it's warm. In the summertime around June, I'll give it another month, I'll go ahead and replace it. But if you like that video, give it a thumbs up, dude, and make sure you subscribe. YouTube, as well as follow me on Instagram, NotTheReal_Will Smith, for more content. I still haven't made a full review on this vehicle yet. There's a lot of things that I want to fix. Probably make a video on modifications, but if I do that, I might as well make a whole video on the whole car, right? So just stay tuned for that. Don't really have much more to say. I love ya. Peace.